flaws and all. Womanhood, sisterhood, and traveling through the worst hood. Adulthood. Conversation from a woman's point of view. This is the S.I.S Podcast.
Hey, sis!
Hey, sis!
Back again. It's episode 2, okay? And we're talking about how being financially responsible is
Ghetto.
Okay?
Super
ghetto.
Because who's
So, I'm your girl, Quell, and I'm your host for this episode. And I have my lovely ladies with me.
And it's your girl, everybody's favorite TT, as always. Hi, y'all.
It's your girl, Queef. Gonna cut off. Hey, y'all. It's your sister, Fee.
And your favorite sis, Jenny.
There you have it. So let's get into it. Okay, ladies. So let's talk about budgeting and how we budget in our everyday lives. So where did the money go? So when you get your paycheck, where the money that went at?
First of all, you got no difference between gross pay, net pay. So when you see your gross pay, when you started the gross pay,
you see your gross pay?
Then you see
Where you saw that at?
on your check stub, because then you see your taxes. You like, who the hell FICA? Who the hell Medicare? Who the hell Social Security? Who the hell state tax, local tax? The fact you got county tax, local state tax, federal tax, all the damn taxes, and I still ain't got in this damn country.
And depending on what city you live in, you have
city tax. Okay.
First of all,
and that's
get it
before
from the
they
state
take
tax.
out insurance. You got medical, you got dental, you got vision, you got retirement,
We
you got
get it.
HSA,
You
you
got
got
life
MSA,
insurance.
you got life insurance.
Bullet.
And then all of that. Now you got your net pay, your final paycheck to take home, and you got rent, you got gas, you got groceries, you got BGE or wherever you get your electric
I can't
from.
take no more.
So what I've always known was like gross is gross. Like, this is what I could have had and now I don't.
And that's
so
how you
I've
feel.
always looked
And
at
that's how you
gross
feel.
like, this is what I could have had.
My account.
Yeah.
Gross is really like, this is the temptation. Like, this what you supposed to make, but she gonna never see it. This what you supposed to make.
America.
That offer letter is bullshit. Okay?
Period.
So when you see that salary, but there's a difference between salary and hourly now.
Yeah.
Speak on that. So you better know. But that damn salary, I think we all salaried employees.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that means we gonna work
Which
that 40
is a
hours,
scam in itself.
and that pay is gonna stay the
Do
same.
y'all know?
Right.
I
No
will
matter
make
how much
you
you put in.
being on salary is a scam. Okay,
That's what I was about to say. Do
It's
you
a scam.
prefer hourly or salary for the working people?
Listen, so for me, it depends, honestly, because salary is great for me because, baby, all you're going to get is 40 hours.
Right.
That's
You
just
better
it.
say
That's
that.
all. When that 40 hours is done, whether I do it all in one day
True.
or I spread it out across in 5 days or I get it done in 3, at the end of the week, you're going to be getting 40 hours. That's it. I clocks out because you don't pay me for 41.
Right.
You pay me for 40.
Because when I work
they be getting
more
over on that
hours,
salary.
they sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
If I
in
work more
education.
hours on that day, believe I'm going to reimburse myself on another day.
You better know.
If you get a little bit more on this day, just know on the end of the week,
That's why I'm to work all the time. That's what we doing. That's what we doing all the time because y'all want me to stay after for a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't say nothing when I'm late. And when I'm late, I'm always going to have food because why would I come into work late and be hungry at the same time?
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Because
It's not given.
Make sure you compensate. If they work extra, you make sure you compensate it because don't let them be working at that job and they ain't paying you for the work that you doing. No.
You be working at that job and they don't be paying you for
Exactly.
all the hours
Now,
you put
sister,
in.
I got a real question.
And that's why I said make sure you compensate it because I've done it.
I know that we're talking about budgets, but was budgets normalized in your household, or is that something that you just kind of had to like figure out?
It was
Not growing up.
learn.
No,
Yeah, not
it's something I definitely had to learn in adulthood.
Yeah, my parents were more of just making sure that everything was paid. And then my mom, she was big about doing her checkbook. She was always balancing her checkbook, which but that's what she literally would only do it on paper. It was the part for
that's
me.
exactly.
Yeah, I was like, why am I
grandma?
Why are you balancing? Why are you balancing it on the paper when we got a whole internet that tells you your available credit? Here you can look at all your purchases.
No, but that's just how they did. Like growing up. And what I think I think a big difference between like how we grew up versus like where we are now. I'm very transparent about funds with my kids. I need them to see money in real life because growing up, I did think money grew on trees because I didn't understand how money worked. You know, so I knew my mom went to work. I knew she paid bills, but I also knew that she took trips. She did
Right.
So in my eyes, I didn't understand why I had to. Well, I didn't understand why I couldn't get FUBU. Why I had to get HUBU. Why I had to get the Felicias. I ain't understand
Remember we grew up. Why you couldn't get that? Why you couldn't get the Nikes, but you had to get the Shaqs? You know what I'm saying?
Head sneakers, y'all. Because they look like Air Force Ones. And I said, Grandma, they gonna pick on me.
They do, kids. They will pick on you.
Why you doing that?
To buy cheap shit. Now every day you got Shein. It's cute now. All the celebrities is wearing it, baby. We was in there and Payless and Walmart shit, and everybody like, oh, yeah, they got that What's the N1? Right. What does your man look like? What's USPA? Lord, you got USPA. That's USPA.
Yeah, and they're in Walmart, and the kids know that's in Walmart. And I would say it's different for boys. Like when you have young boys, with the girls, you can get the cute, cheap stuff, and boys, you can go cheap on some stuff.
We can get the little Chinese stuff.
I feel like I get the cheap bottoms for him, but the top and the feet
Gas to be.
Y'all know my baby. He stayed.
But it makes you cringe because they're growing so for our age kids, they're growing so fast.
But that's the thing. Like when it comes down to money for them, they honestly think that we just have it. Like I listen to my boys now, and they're just like, "Well, Mama, you got it," and I'm just like, "But I don't."
Told you that?
But I don't because they see that we live like these lives of like. I mean, I drive a Beamer. I got this. I got that. So they see it and they don't realize that it's a lot that go into having what we have
and maintaining it.
And maintaining it. So that's why I'm so transparent.
Other week, Mommy, we getting on the airplane.
You got airplane money.
You got diamond money. You got airplane money.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, bruh. And so literally, even at 3, I'm trying to teach him financial management. I'm telling you, I got that boy his own little piggy bank account in his name. Right. So he understand like this is money. You're gonna start paying for your snacks, bruh.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pull your weight.
I
He was sitting there crying when I was like, TC got to go on the plane and travel. He said, TC, you going to play? He said, okay, this time you go by yourself. Next time I go on plane with you.
Give it up for the TTs paying for this, helping with this financial management.
He had to budget.
Responsibility.
She had to budget to make sure she could afford that because guess what? Bills and stuff have to be paid first. All priorities must be done first before you can do your pleasure. Because if you do not, your ass will be having pleasure coming back to a no house. You're having outside.
Nowhere to sleep.
You won't have that car will be pulled.
So that brings me to my next question. Would you say you're cheap or a spendthrift?
Oh, no.
What would you categorize yourself as?
I don't think, to be honest, I don't think that there are some people that are in the extreme on either side. They're either extremely cheap.
Because some people are in the middle.
Or spend. But I feel like most people are in the middle. Like you are... you budget and you manage well with what makes sense. You make sure that the bills are paid, and then when you have your extra, you go and spend it instead of saving. So that's what I think people miss at in the budgeting is not having a savings. You're like, okay, my bills is paid. Now I got this. You know what I'm saying? I got about $3,000.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. It's such a horrible thing in our community that we don't really put aside the extra money. And I was just telling my son because I told y'all in the last season, he just got his first job. And I'm just like, baby, you need to only live off and really live off less than 50%. But because he's a kid, I'm going to say 50%. So 50% of whatever you make, we need to put that away. You can spend the other 50% because I want you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But at the same time, you do need to be saving up for a rainy day. And my house, like I said, I saw my mom budgeted on paper. I saw my grandma budgeted on paper. But I knew for a fact I did not want to be broke. And I've never been like, thank you,
Amen.
Holy One. Because favor has always been on me when it come down to financially. So up until me moving into my own place just recently, like I've always had just extra money. I have the travel account. I got this account. Now I'm living on a paycheck. The paycheck account and my budget looks different. And it's hard for me because I can't just get up and travel like what I'm used to doing. I know I be on a plane every month.
Every month she be gone.
And sometimes twice a month. You know, but now I'm like really weighing out like, damn, and I hate that feeling. That shit is ghetto.
I
like to do what I want to do.
And that's exactly why it's important to save money, because what we're not taught in Black households is financial management and how money works.
Or in
money
school.
is
like, how you take a whole economics class and don't learn shit about money?
It's cyclical. Money goes in a circle. It's a cycle. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's going to go up. It's going to go down.
Realize when you think about it, something as simple as what literally makes the economy flow, you would think that they would put that in public school.
Right. They don't.
They don't want to.
They need us
held back.
Yeah.
Because the truth is the homes and the households that have that financial management, they're going to teach it to their kids.
Exactly.
And they know that we don't have that because generational wealth wasn't a thing instituted for Black people.
Exactly.
And so it's something that we have to go do the research and find out for ourselves.
Well, I won't say it wasn't a thing that was instituted for Black people. When we were segregated, it was. Because we didn't have an option, right, but to have our own.
I'm talking about from us being here.
Yes. But we learned we're still always been, as Black people, very enterprising, very business minded, very it's ingrained in our DNA. God just made us enterprising, engineering, ingenuitive people. That's who we are. So we're always going to do that. You take it back to Africa. Africa's always got a business, honey. They always hustling. It's been in our DNA to be that. That is who we are. So even when they brought us over here, even within slavery, we still found ways to survive and do things on our own. But having our own bars, creating different things, selling, even within our own, within slavery, that existed. There was a trade system, even within slavery, to make sure across plantations, right? That there were things that were needed. So we've always just been able to be that kind of people. I think that, and y'all, this may be, and I ain't trying to get political, but I really do think it was intentional. And the worst thing that happened to our community was integration, because we got pulled into a system that was never created for us.
And the thing is that with that, it's like we lost ourselves to the point that we forgot how to get back to the point of building up our wealth. We depended so much on what they've provided for us and what they have. And idealizing what they have to be for us and trying to just jump into getting it. But they don't understand they have things built for them before they have the connection, they have the generational stuff. So if we just get back to the mindset of starting small, saving doesn't have to be this big thing that you got to put a whole paycheck aside. You can start by taking $25 out that you're going to use to buy your food or buy something that you did not need. You can save that $25 each week, each month, or whatever, and just start from there. And that way, the more you do it, it snowballs, and you'll look into the account and do not touch it.
And don't touch it.
And you'll look at it, and you'll have all this money saved for you.
I think if we learn to really split up our money, so we have a mindset that we want to see it all right. You know, like I taught my kids from a very early age, split it up, baby. Like split up for the only thing that hits my regular checking account is what I can actually fucking spend. Not even bill money, because I have a bill account. So it's like separate accounts for every single thing. Make sure your money gets distributed immediately to those accounts, so that whatever you have left in your spending account is the only thing that you can spend.
For spending.
So that goes into
from the beginning.
Absolutely. Because if it hits your account, it hurts you to have to transfer. You be like, oh shit, I gotta put $2,000 in, put $100 in. Exactly.
And you do that
So
rotten
that
P to the
eliminates
PayPal.
that.
PayPal. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
that
it
goes
just don't
into my
end.
next question about how do you guys individually, personally, within your households budget? So we kind of heard Fee. She kind of
mine is very similar to Fee. It's like from my paycheck from the beginning. Actually, I learned it from Fee and then doing my own research as well. But understanding, one, I took a month to 2 months of understanding how I spend money. Right? I needed to understand what my habits were,
'Cause I'm impulsive.
and how I spend money and what it is
Real bad.
I'm impulsive with. So then once I did that, right, with making sure that, then I was like, okay, you gotta get control of this. Now that I know how I spend money, what's gonna make me happy and not, let me make sure I budget. So for my paycheck, this is how much my bills are. All right, break that down. Boom, that goes into the bill account. When I had that bill account, the card that comes attached to it, I cut it up, throw it in the trash. So I don't have access to that money. It sits there. Bills are paid. I ain't never got to worry about it. I can't even easily access it. Right. And then I have the percentage that goes out. All right, I need to save something. Realistically, I can't say, you know what I'm saying, all of this because I need to be able to spend money. You know what I mean? You want to be able to enjoy of your labor. If you deprive yourself, it's only going to hurt you because you're going to overindulge at some point.
Right.
So I take a little bit, out to spend at least 10%. I take 10% out. Boom, that's for regular savings. I take another % out, Jim Way, for investments, right? That's automatic. Boom, I don't even see it. I don't touch it, right? Then I put a little separate amount out for vacation, right? Because I know eventually I want to go smoke somewhere, or I'm a super TT, so it's going to have to do something, whether it's vacation, whether spending on the kids, whether it's being in a wedding, whatever.
I think all of that helps when you have multiple jobs too. Like with me having all these different side hustles, each side hustles pay for something else. Your main job is your main bill. Everything else are your luxury. You know what I'm saying? So when I go and bartend, all that goes into a whole separate bank account. Really, that's my travel account, but I've been using it to pay bills. But I mean, to pay like extra stuff that I spend. We'll talk about credit cards soon. But initially it was, initially it was all about me taking that money and, putting it away for me to travel. So anytime I went to work, they know, oh yeah, she's trying to make that travel money. You damn right. So I really think, especially for those entrepreneurs, like it's okay to be an entrepreneur and still have a steady job as well.
Yes.
We are supposed to entrepreneurs
and we all have steady jobs.
Absolutely.
Well, I love that y'all said that because that's something, another part that I need to integrate into the way I budget, because the way I do it is I have 3 accounts actually that I smallly take like $25 each paycheck, and it automatically goes down. I never see that money. So whatever I was going to spend it on, I'm not going to spend it because I'm not going to see that. And everything in my main account goes towards the bills or whatever I need to do for the kids and stuff like that. So that's how I...
So you keep your main account and your bill money in the same account? That don't stress you when your bills come out?
No, because like I said, the way I was raised, the way I was raised, I was always raised to always be conscious about, your credits, what you're paying, all that stuff. So I already have that mentally in there. So
girl,
it doesn't,
that's what
worked for me. So that's what I'm talking about for me.
It worked it.
Girl,
me too.
I mean, the bills need to come out because I don't have time to be spending and then remember like, oh shit, this gonna come out my account. Like if it's in a whole separate bill account, like I know that, but I don't even look at that account.
But that's a personal restraint I have for myself.
It is.
It's a mental.
You different.
It's a mental jog that I actively do, and I have a mental like, okay, these bills are coming out, so or I need to schedule for these bills because I schedule my stuff every month for them to come out on a specific time, a specific date. So I know, okay, when this check hit, don't look at that check like, oh, you got this to spend because these are hitting the next day. So when my check hit on Tuesday, on Wednesday, all bills are paid. And I ain't even got to worry about it. So on Friday, when I look at my check, this is what you can spend within limits.
So that's how you
But then, and then as far as like play money, that's already came out too because my $25 have gone to all of my other accounts. So when I see it on Friday, I can already go ahead and do what I need to do. So that's how I just budget for me because I know that I schedule everything on a specific day to come out. So when I do look at my my account because I know how I look. It ain't gonna be there for me to spend because
I think for people who have discipline like you, that works
which is great. Which is great. But you know, everybody has different levels. Discipline.
It's a lot of behavior.
And it depends on how you were raised, right?
My father was
unfortunately, most of us in our community, we're not grow up in households that were taught that level of discipline when it came to finances. You are blessed, honey. Very blessed. You are.
Thank you,
very blessed.
So for me, you know, naturally, like when you have a family, your household income looks different.
Yeah.
And your priorities are different, right? And so because financial management wasn't something that was taught in my household, it was something that I had to go learn after making so many horrible mistakes or whatever. It was like, and everybody know I like nice shit. You know what I'm saying?
Me too,
and
girl.
So
Always
like,
have.
I want to be able to afford the nice shit. And my little cousin, like when I say I use her as an example for young people and learn from her because my baby girl is 25 years old.
Yes,
and let me
Lami.
tell you something. I guarantee you she got more money than half 40-year-olds in her account.
Wow.
Because baby girl has the mentality that first and foremost, the only way that I can afford it in her mind is if I can buy it twice.
Right.
Yep.
That's
I like
number
that.
one.
Yep.
Yes. If I can't buy that shit twice, I can't afford it.
Right.
Then number two, she literally, all the money that she made when she was working, as you know, when she didn't have to work, but when she worked, when she went to college on scholarship. She became an RA, even though
Very good.
her parents paid for her. Like it wasn't like they did. Like but she was like, no, I want this extra money. And what did she do with the extra money? She put it in her savings. Like she put it in a high yield savings account. And that shit was earning interest.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is the difference between saving and investing so that your money can grow.
Yeah.
You need to do
on top
both.
of that, when she got her big girl job, now she's already building on top of a foundation that is already there. So
Right.
it wasn't until she got that big girl job. Now it's like, oh, I see a Louis V bag. I can
Right.
afford that.
Right.
Exactly.
I love
Oh,
that.
I'm going on.
I still
got
can't
invited
afford
to
that.
a trip to Greece. Oh, I can
I can afford that.
And I can
love.
afford to what? Upgrade my seat in class. Why? Because she sacrificed early on.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to enjoy the fruits of her labor now. And I think that's very important
For
to
young
understand
people.
that they're
But everybody
young
want to
kids to
see,
know.
like, you want to drive nice. You want
My uncle says it best.
Yeah, you gotta be
There's a
humble at
period
first. Yeah.
to save, which is the
Yep.
period of sacrifice.
Yep.
And then there's a period to spend.
Absolutely.
And that's the period of enjoying the fruits of your labor. But
Right.
if you don't do that sacrificial
Right, so
period,
now,
Yeah.
baby,
when you get
you're
older,
gonna
enjoy
be
later.
sacrificing.
Exactly.
Whether
the
in
world
a
we
box
in now, though.
or no food or
Yeah.
whatever. But so like with us, it's like we have a joint account. So that don't work for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody household, joint accounts don't work. But it's
Yeah.
just like you have to understand your spending habits. I'm the person who is like, I like nice things. I like my kids to have things, whatever like that. And so it's like, I see money, I'm gonna buy it. My husband be like, bitch, stop playing. So, joint account, bill money.
Right.
This account, children.
Yeah.
Right.
This account, go do whatever the hell you want to do with that shit.
Yeah, because you just play.
That's your
You
money.
play.
Right. Have fun. When the shit hits zero, don't look at me. And that's when I'm like, transfer?
Zaddy.
Transfer? He'd be like, no.
No transfer.
And it's like but our biggest bills naturally are our mortgage,
Yeah,
our
for
car
sure.
insurance, and there's one other big bill. Car
notes.
Yeah, I was about to say
That
car
is
notes.
that's not even like bill money. That's just our one account.
Yes.
It comes out of that shit automatically. Nobody touches it.
Yeah.
Because every month that shit due on the first.
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's
so
your
every
thing.
month you know the amount that need to be in there on the
Absolutely.
first.
Yes.
So literally those big bills just is in one account.
Yeah.
The bill money is like groceries, the little extracurriculars. Iman's school fees come out separately.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm not gonna pay by my baby's school.
Right.
Stuff gotta
Come out separately, and so that's how like we
All of
sit
that.
down and budget, and then sitting down to like schedule in time for us to sit down and reassess and realign where are we in our finances.
That's
Yeah.
important.
What are we planning
Sitting
to
down
do?
and
Yeah.
realign.
Our therapist
Yes.
told us like, what do you want to do to grow and invest in yourself? You need to budget for that. What do you want to do in the next 5 years? You need to, but we don't want to be in this house
Right.
for 5 years.
Right.
So how do we ensure that we can pay this mortgage off?
Yeah.
And then grow into a new home.
Having conversations about money for somebody like me who's not, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's still within topic, but just for somebody who me like that's not married, right? Where, you know, all of y'all have, you know, married and all of that having conversations about money is best to have before you get married or after.
Okay, so before, during,
after,
all the time.
It always has to be.
For us, we have monthly financial meetings. It's like a business. Okay, so what day you won't have it? What time? You know, you're not available. You know, you're available. Okay, it's on the schedule. Schedule after like the gym, before the gym. Period. Whatever. We need to sit down. We need to talk about it because for us, we have. I wouldn't say it's one joint account because I have my account. He have his account because he have the stuff that he paid. And I have the stuff that I pay.
I'm not paying with her.
But we both have access and can see both accounts, right?
Yeah.
So we have like the joint cards. I have a joint card to his account. He have a joint. So that's how we do things. And then, you know, when I met him, he already had a son. So for me, when I met my husband, he didn't know about saving and how to save and how to invest.
Right.
So that's what I bought to. And I was like, oh no, he needs a saving.
That's what women do.
He needs a saving.
We do that.
He does.
Right.
Yes.
Amen.
So it's very important to have those hard conversations, you know, and I can't say everybody have like a frugal relationship when it comes to finances with their spouse because some people have financial issues. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I am big on budgeting and saving because I come from, you know, my mom not doing that and borrowing. And borrow, I don't borrow. I don't like borrowing. I don't like owing nobody nothing.
Not borrow.
No. And even giving out, if somebody need it from me, it's going to be a blessing. I have to like have it. I have to have it. Or if, you know, God is, you know, asking me to bless somebody or be a blessing, then it's like most likely I'm probably sacrificing something or something. But no,
because I'm a loan shark and my interest is crazy.
Run me back.
Once you take it out of my hand, I'm like you making a firm decision now. Take this out of my hand. I'm gonna get it back tenfold. You're gonna be
because I'm not with the hounding nobody to give it back. So if I don't have it, I'm sorry.
And that's how I am. I'm like, I won't give it if I can't afford to lose it, which is something I had to learn. I had to learn.
I don't even want to talk about that.
I had to learn that, but I won't now.
It's important
now because I've made those mistakes. I've made those mistakes because of being such a giving person, and then having to be so responsible so early. I had to learn that I had to put myself first and have something for me instead of thinking that everything that I acquired, everything that I attained is for everybody else.
So what I will say is that financial security is important in relationships.
It is.
Like making piss poor financial decisions in a relationship could really be detrimental.
It can.
It's one of the top reasons for divorce.
Yeah, it is. Yes. And oftentimes because, and I'm not just blaming this on men, but men, they deal with a lot of pride and ego issues. So because of that, it's often a hidden type of finances. So it's kind of good that you guys do have those shared and joint accounts and access to each other accounts. That wasn't a practice that I had because what was mine was mine. Like, and I always knew what to do with my money. And I never questioned what was going on with his money. You get what I'm saying? But I think that is a problem because when things needed to get done, it was just like, well, why don't you have this? You know? And that begins to become a real part of a conversation. And I do think, you know, definitely like they said at the beginning of the relationship, find out where they are like
financially
because those behaviors, just like y'all said, y'all didn't necessarily learn it from your parents. You had to kind of get it on your own. That's like a female type of thing because we don't want to be broke.
Right.
Okay? Like, we don't want to be broke. So we end up learning that. We end up teaching it to our spouse, our significant others, or whomever else because of the lifestyle that we want to live and want to maintain.
They say, like, when you're thinking about marriage, especially because, you know, you said, like, as you're in the dating phase and everything, who you choose as a partner can make the difference between you being a millionaire and you being in a pole house. It literally can change your destiny based on who you choose. Because the worst thing you can do is have two financially irresponsible people in the that shit is not going to go.
We see it all the time.
Yes, and it does. And it's so it's like while women are so worried, or men are so worried about
and bringing
what
kids
they look like
into a situation
like
like
that. Type of stuff. You need to be worried. How do you spend money?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I'm a person who's like, oh, like she said, I'm impulsive. I can't marry somebody who's impulsive.
Right.
Because we gonna be broke.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We both
right.
broke. We just can't do that.
Yeah.
So you have to understand what type of person you are. How do you?
So do y'all believe in splitting y'all bills? How especially?
We definitely say like who gonna pay what?
Yeah, like some people feel like, oh, the man is supposed to pay for every single thing. Or do you guys still? I'm interested in Big Daddy Greek over here.
We have been through. So we've been together 10 years, married 9, and with that course of time, things have happened. That being said, in the beginning, that's who he is, but that's not who he have to be.
Yeah.
So who he is I want to take care of you. I don't want you to worry or be concerned about anything. And for me, I'm like, well, what it is that you need, like I want to buy him things as well, do nice things for him, take him on trips as well. Yeah. So that's who I am, and that's how I love him. You don't have to do it all by yourself, because I don't want him to be like stressed about something that I don't know. That's why I'm like, so what's going on? How we looking? What do you need help with? So when COVID came and he actually lost his job and he was on his entrepreneur thing, God provided. He was actually making more. It was just the stress of the day-to-day of, am I going to get work today or whatever? Because he was doing like home renovations, and surprisingly, he had something to do every day. Right. So that was people that getting was them great. But at that time, I was the breadwinner for that year. So that was stressful for him. But for me, I was happy to do it. Because you ain't taking care of me, baby. Let me take care of you.
Exactly.
So I love that. Like, besides having the baby and the stuff I had going on, check out season 3 about the postpartum. But the paying, I had no problem. I had no problem because I'm not a big spender.
In a relationship, don't let that social media shit fool you.
Yes.
Listen, in marriages, finances, in life, period. But in your marriage, finances are going to go up and down.
They are.
There's going to be a
roles transfer.
It might be a time where I'm making more money.
Right.
Which means I got to carry the load.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a time where you making more money. So you, but like, just like she said, typically, or I can say even like my husband is like Drake in the sense that, no, I'm the man and I want to pay those big major bills.
Right. Yeah.
That's my responsibility.
Yeah.
It's my responsibility to take care of my family.
Right.
And so what the bills that take care of my family look like, those are the bills that he paid a mortgage.
Yeah.
He paid those car notes and whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, I pay for groceries, I pay the school fee or whatever.
Child,
like
these prices of groceries ain't small.
You budget enough for groceries. Listen, yes, I pay for the school activities. Or I pay for the trips. And then it's just like, I'll be like, can we upgrade the trip? All right, let me throw a little extra money in there. We can upgrade the trip. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like,
that's why them points
understanding that when you build a different type of foundation in your relationship, you can do those type of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you definitely should think about being more like, noticing the red flags. Like if you're in a relationship and you see that you spending a lot, he's spending a lot, like you need to recognize when y'all don't know how to dial it back. Yeah. Or when one is like struggling, they don't know how to stop. Like it is, because I've
always had money, so now reserving those funds and not
your foundation But see, I was like you though, like the way me and my husband, we don't have a joint account. We tried that, it didn't work. We always had separate accounts. But when it comes to like when one of us, because we always do check-ins, like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? If you're struggling, let me know. Like, because we divvied up our bills. Like we say, okay, you pay for this, you pay for that. But when he went through a span, like you said, he had lost his job, and so I was the primary breadwinner. So I took over a big chunk, was our mortgage. Yeah. But I still was like, hey, are you good? He still was able to take care of the things he needed to do, which thank God. But it was like for a minute there, I was able to hold it down. So the weight got shifted. It wasn't 50-50. It was like I was taking on a big 90 maybe, but I didn't see him struggle. Like he always, because he has that manly man, he was always like, no, I'm still gonna provide. Yeah. And so it's just always noticing those things, because sometimes people are not aware they're not good at financing their money. Some people don't understand it, so it's like you have to be vigilant and like recognizing those little tweaks.
I think all of that, probably what it sounds like to me, in a marriage, in a relationship, all of that is a part of budgeting. Having those conversations, understanding that it is cyclical, understanding that there may be times where you up, he down.
It's not made up.
It's he up, you know what I'm saying? You down, and then understanding all of the finances that are coming.
Yeah, so it just has to be that transparency though, because I've seen it when it's not transparent. Yeah. And if it's not transparent, you're not being honest about the kind of debt you're in and what you have going on.
It's gonna come out.
It's going to negatively impact your relationship, and it's gonna lose that financial security. And security for women is important.
It's so important.
Make the pussy wet. That's what makes you be able to get like you need
when
that.
You roll over tap in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Right.
It's the bill.
That's gonna make the difference if you gonna get that.
I know that money affects relationships so much because I watched how heavy it was and how much of an impact it had growing up, which is why I had to be responsible at such a young age, because I had a parent that was irresponsible, and then I had to step in and be responsible as a child, right? And so with therapy and stuff, I realized that played a big role into me not wanting to engage in marriage, because I don't want to be in that situation like where somebody else's decisions, somebody else's bad habits, somebody else's affect me and our kids, and now my child is in, is in a situation I never would want my child to feel like how I felt or to experience what I experienced. So it's like, gonna board it all together.
It's about not collecting those red flags though, because when you see those little inklings of hold on, you don't have no restraint. Wait a minute,
right? And then look at their parents. If their parents don't have restraint, 9 out of 10 times
they might not know it.
Trickle down, type of thing.
Learning from them,
exactly. So
and not always, because sometimes the parents could do right and then they kids do wrong.
Yeah,
very much so.
Like, there's always an exception
when your parents
because we
don't match.
We're in an environment where it's all about instant gratification. Everybody wants everything right now.
Right.
And we see
popcorn.
We see these beamers in Section 8 houses on when they get their refund check. Everybody getting all their stuff now.
Don't judge me.
Budgeting. Are you thinking about long term? How you make that money stretch? You're not practicing that because you weren't taught that, and you're not trying.
They were taught that tax refund.
Exactly. And that's why they be the ones laughing at you while you got the hair sneakers on and they got the Air Force Ones, but you in Section 8 houses.
And I own the house.
Ain't no cities in Walmart because you done bought them all because tax refund.
Can't nobody take this house from me. You know what I'm saying?
Something you know now about money that you wish you knew before?
That's a good final question.
That is what I would say. What I know now about money that I wish I knew before is I wish I knew how important it was to budget, and within budgeting, making sure I had something for me. Right? Yeah. Because especially for all of y'all out there that are giving people, that are selfless people, that do carry weight of other people, right? Whether intentionally or not, right? You have to make sure you prioritize. You can't pour from an empty cup. And when you keep pouring from an empty cup, right, at some point, something gets depleted to the point where there's nothing left.
Overdraft.
Right? You are completely overdrafted, and you don't want to overdraft on yourself.
That part.
Right? So make sure that you fill yourself up first, right? And then what is left over, know that even create a budget for what you know you are going to selflessly give because you carry that weight. Charity.
And you should have
charity budget.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I was fortunate enough to have parents that showed me, like, even though
we know, hey, Daddy.
But I'm glad I learned early on that, you should be having a spending budget and you should be having like a fun budget and stuff like that, because it was a lot of times I was like, I want to go somewhere, and they was like, sit yourself down. Because I'm thinking like every holiday, you see everybody, all the deals are going. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be shopping on these deals because they got deals going. They're like, no, you ain't going nowhere. Labor Day sale, sit down now somewhere, you ain't going nowhere. Like learning that early on definitely embedded in me how I wanted to budget when I got older. And I emphasized in my house, like, no, we're not doing anything right now because we're saving for this major trip. You're going to have more fun on this trip because we have more money. But if we spend this, we got the money, but you're not going to have as much fun as you could have because the money going to be gone. So, I mean, just making sure that I show my kids that, those things that I was taught early on is one of the things that I want to make sure that I do. Instill that budgeting, that's, that spending habits, having healthy spending habits, and making sure your bills are paid. That's the biggest thing that I want to instill in my children.
Yeah, for me, I would say living within your means. Like, again, that whole social media life of everyone's doing fantastic. It is very unrealistic. And I mean, the term keeping up with the Joneses was always very popular when I was growing up. Moving on up. Oftentimes people would try to do that. They would outshine or or when they finally get money, they got to show everyone. And if you ever like look at, wealthy people,
they got on
Skechers.
Listen.
Right.
Yep. Bill Gates said he gave his kids, what did he give his kids? What? Toyotas and stuff like that. Bill Gates. Right. His kids drive little pop joints.
Exactly. But meanwhile, the moment that we receive those funds, baby, we buying the Gucci sneakers. We buying a so I would definitely say living within your means. When you really have it, then spend it. Right. It's okay. If you don't have it like that just yet, baby, your time is coming. It's coming. So I do want you guys to rest assured that your time is coming. If it means living a little humble right now, and I'm speaking to myself as I'm speaking to y'all, because baby, my time is coming back up. Okay? Because it's been around the whole time. But, now that I'm trying to like really like restructure how I spend my funds and be more cognizant, because like I said, I'm very, very impulsive, because I look at money as it's gonna come. Spend that check and get it right back. Because I have so many different streams of income, so I normally do spend like that. But right now I'm in a season of just practicing living within my means. Remembering that these times won't be like this always.
Too shall pass.
Amen. And y'all can do it the same way I'm doing it. Y'all can do it. If he did it for me, he can do it for you.
Microphone tried to take me out.
Right.
I think what I wish I knew now that I didn't know then is two things. Number one, it's okay to tell people I ain't got it. There is no shame.
Stop going on brunches you can't afford. God damn it, $75 brunches and eat your ass down somewhere.
Your savings is not you have.
You ain't got to go to every party.
Listen,
for real.
It's okay to
I love that.
No,
I ain't got it.
I see y'all next go around.
I miss this one. I see next time.
Maybe. We'll see. It still might not be the season.
Right.
So I'm in the season of saving is what I let people know. Sorry. It's the saving season right now. Okay.
And
I think the second one is just that I really wish that understanding how important it is to put money away. Like that paycheck, if you can learn to live off of less, you will always have more.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And so I wish I would have known that back then, because I could have started investing the earlier you
Man.
the more money that you make. And so had I started investing when I started working when I was 11, 12 years old, I'd probably be, not 100,000 just by salary, but that shit would be sitting in looking real nice. And so the earlier you start, the better. So those that have kids, start investing for them
now.
Absolutely. The regret I have not invested in Amazon when I should have.
Look, my kids have investment accounts. They have grants. They have
because I used to love Amazon was a book, and I love books, bro. And I'm like, and I didn't, and they're like, just invest. And no, I was busy trying to buy damn Maryland's in freaking Albany, Georgia, to get some daggone chicken box. And I could have been owning multiple chicken box stores by now.
Right. No, for real.
So there you have it, guys. You have heard it here that financial budgeting is ghetto, but you
very much so.
You
You
can.
manage your finances if you really work hard towards it. So coming up, guys, we're going to be talking more about budgeting and just being an adult and adulthood and how it is the worst hood. So stay tuned.
Literally
Ghetto. We're going to talk about the housing market. So this is only episode 2. And so we're going to say bye for now. So bye, sis.
Bye, sis.